Fox the Barbarian here, and welcome to the second episode for Railroad Tycoon 2 US Let's Play. That's the best title you're gonna be able to get out of me after this. Our goal here is quite simple. We've got 175 years to build the best railroad imaginable, and we're gonna do it by accumulating the most money and the most book value imaginable. So our main final score is going to be this plus this. And hopefully we don't end up bankrupt in the process. And of course we're attempting to do the game scenario here, which won't end until 2025. No, excuse me, 1885. So we got 30 years to get personal net wealth and book value. Last time we were here in our first episode, we started our rail line in New York City and made it all the way down to Columbia. And we even made it to Boston and Albany, too. Even against, all odds. So today, we're going to keep this rail going. We're going to head north along the northeast coast, but also towards the south. Maybe visit the good old Florida. And hopefully not ruin the place too much. So, of course, the usual buttons to hit. And we're off. And I'm actually going to start by something I forgot to do last time. I want to do this at least once per game here, buy back stock, and slowly do it with whatever our cash reserves are. That's a nice share price, by the way. We're down to 205 and counting, so maybe I'll try to buy some more. I don't want to go too far into debt, though. Now, as for our railroad, if I'm looking at this, last time we made it to Boston. Let's see. What's the situation north of here? We've got a logging camp outside of Brunswick, and a whole lot of cattle, and even a couple of cattle facilities up here in Maine. Alright, we can start with the northeast first. This part of the north. We'll start with New England first and foremost. There's not too much we can do here. The problem is if you notice, there's mountains to our east, and getting over them is kind of a royal you-know-what. Yeah, this isn't going to work as well as it appears. So let me start by making it the Concord first of all, foremost. Now I'm going to build all these stations all at once here. So set the game speed to 4. We'll hit up Brunswick next. And I would like to get that logging camp if I can, and the game says no. That's unfortunate. I'm trying to pass this right next to it without causing any issues here. Okay. Alright, what if I did this? Alright, so there we go. So that's going to be kind of the end of our northern line here. So let me drop down the station in Brunswick first and foremost. Well, Brunswick doesn't really have anything we could use. There's no lumber camp or anything. Okay, so it's going to have to be this right here. So Bangor Junction essentially is going to be our most further northern point. Speaking of Bangor, let's get on over there. Number 1. We'll build a very tiny station. Again, there's no really passenger rail over here. Let's get the city. And then we'll hit up Berlin. No, not that one. The one that's over here. If we can actually do it. Uh-oh. Do not like this one bit. Oh, I'm going to hate the grading on this, but so be it. I was trying to avoid getting those red numbers in here, but I guess we have no choice. Alright, I guess that'll work. There we go. Not exactly what I had in mind, but okay. That works. Okay, so we got what we came here for, sort of. So here's how I want to do this. We have Concord and Boston as kind of our cities. Brunswick we can't really do anything with. There's really nothing there. Well, we could do like a small passenger service thing here too, I guess. If I really wanted to, I could get that cattle. It's okay. So here's how I want to do this. Start in Concord first. Give it that. The junctions, I'm just going to do sanding and water towers, just cuz. Bangor will get this. Berlin will get this. And Brunswick is the most central location, so it gets a roundhouse on top of that. So there we go. And also the 2 passenger things, so why not? So I need 3. Let's do 2 from this area. Let's start with the passenger rail first. We'll only do 2 here because there's not really much in the way of development here. There we go. So now we got our 2 passenger lines that'll serve this whole small little area. Now what we need to do is take advantage of this stuff. So we got 3, so 1 can go to Bangor. And we'll send this to Boston. The other one, meanwhile, can head to Berlin. And that'll stop at Concord. I want to spread these out because I don't want it to go in the same spot, otherwise we're going to have some issues. And we're going to have 1 go to Concord and 1 go to Boston, so... This one we have to do 2 since there's less. And then finally we'll have it go to Boston. And it has to go to Concord because that's literally the only spot in the map I can go to. Or Brunswick, one of the 2. Actually, we can have it go to Brunswick. That works a little bit better. All right. Whoa! And just like that, apparently the next year went by. Yeah, time flies by when you're having fun. So there we go. We got that all set up now. We could actually do, if the game will let me do. Oh, we can. Nice. Let's set up another one over here. I can get both. Oh, we can. Nice. So now we got one in Brunswick Junction too. Excellent. I'm going to send this one to Boston, have it go to New York. And we'll do one to New York too. So... let's just keep it simple because this is going to be hard. Does New York even need food? Oh, they still do. They need tons of it. All right, that's no biggie. So that one's going to Boston, and this one will head right to New York. There we go. And because I forgot to do it earlier, there you go. Well, train safety would be riskier, but we'll keep the increased revenue. Why not? Okay, so we got that out of the way with. Actually, is there any buildings we can buy? In a second. Scroll through all of these really quick. We started to get 1 building bought, but we got a recession now, so this is going to get a little bit iffy. Well, if you're gushing cash, don't mind if I do. I'll buy that too. Not really much we could build up here. Okay, so that works. So now we've got to deal with a recession incoming. Let's see. Presque Isle has nothing, so there's no point in going there. Quebec is in a different country. We cannot access Canada at all, so going here is absolutely useless for the time being. To get to here, we would have to go through Cumberland and go this way, sort of kind of like a back door here. So we've got two options. We can either go through Cumberland and get to Pittsburgh and all places north, which wouldn't be a bad thing, I suppose. I suppose we can save that for later. Let's go south. I said we were going to go to Miami. My manager's supposed to increase security, and yet somehow he lets that happen. What are we doing here? Yeah, 50% fewer robberies, and you're not doing your job. You know what? You're fired. You're fired. Get out of here. Man is supposed to prevent robberies, and he can't even do his job. Such a shame. Anyways. There were some people. Alright, let's get to Savannah. I think we'll go to Florida route first. To do that, we're going to need to hit up Savannah. I want the port, too. There we go. I don't really have anything goods related just yet, though. It's kind of an issue. This train I will send to Roanoke, and we'll send it back. Some of these trains I'm going to send back. Like this one, for instance. Some of these trains I'll keep going. I'm going to plan our route smartly, otherwise we're not going to do this correctly. Yeah, no. Also no. Definitely no. Okay, you're going to the south, so sure, why not? Yeah, you've been robbed. Our manager failed. Failed at life there. Let's see. There we go. We have no supply in Wilmington, so that's kind of unfortunate. This one's... Oh, okay, we actually can. So where are two grain trains going? One's going to D.C. and one's going to New York. I say... Yeah, we'll send another one to D.C. Sure, why not? Except... Philadelphia still needs food. I'm actually going to send it to New York because it needs more food. Okay, we'll do that. Why not? Do we have any more demand for cattle? Not entirely. Okay, so everything's moving along just nicely. Yep. Another stock buyback incoming. We're good. And let's see if we can meander over to Jacksonville. Did we do okay? Revenue rebounded. We're still in growth phase, but everything's fine. I'm not in any danger of going bankrupt. That's fine. I think we'll increase our dividends slowly, but I don't want to overdo it because again, we're in a recession, so we're going to have to mind the economic conditions. That basically means we're going to get less money. If we can make it to Jacksonville, I think we should be okay. Do we have any Oh, no. Dang you. Oh, we got one over here in the, towards Tallahassee. Of course. All right, so I think we've got our route planned out. We're going to hit Miami, because I hear the beaches in Miami are nice this time of year. And eventually end in Tallahassee, and then turn our attention north. The goal is to get this, and I suppose this, since it's over there too. Okay. Works. I think Jacksonville's going to be kind of a hub, so we kind of need to have a roundhouse over here. Sure, why not? Hold on. Okay, if it's going to Savannah, it's going to Jacksonville too. That's how I want to do this. So now let me just add these in. Okay, that works. And this Jacksonville line is just going to go up to Washington, and that's it, with a stop in Savannah. Washington's kind of like the cutoff for our routes over here. Oh, Jacksonville actually can do this. It's only me. All right, so we got Jacksonville all set up, and we kind of need to unload all of our money to do it too. So there's that. It's probably not a good idea to do a buyback this right now. But our goal is to get to Orlando. Wait, isn't Orlando more like over here? Why is it over here? It's more like, oh, I can see why. Never mind. That would be cutting it really close. Okay, never mind. You got me there, game. You got me there. Oh, we can actually get this grain? Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, Orlando it is. That granary is going to help us a lot. I have a good feeling about it. Okay. Wait, for real? Oh, we're going to have to fix this. Okay. That's a little bit of a revelation there now, isn't it? You know what? Sure. Ah, oh dear. Okay, we'll come back to that once we get the cash. Yikes, I didn't realize we weren't oiling it up. Oh dear. Oh dear, that's a problem and a half now, isn't it? That's going to be a bit of an issue. Alright, we'll fix that in just a second. Alright, so for here, I'm just going to have it stick to Florida for right now. The granary we can actually send to Jacksonville. But first, let's fix this issue that we have. There we go. This is kind of an important hub, not for nothing. Speaking of Orlando... Okay, I know that's a little bit of an odd one, but so be it. Oh, we have one in Savannah, too? All right. Let me add it. But I'll dump it off in Jacksonville. I don't want it to overextend it. There we go. All right. So now we took advantage of that greenery out there. Okay, we're expanding quite nicely. Now can we get to Miami or Tampa? Tampa's closer, and the economic conditions are kind of iffy at the moment. So we'll do Tampa for right now. I need the port, so we'll get the produce for free. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So we're already in Tampa's wheelhouse, just like that. Amazing how all of these have ports. Now, I don't want these having too many stops, so this will be the last one. But the way I have this set up is some will go to Tampa, some will go to Miami. And then they'll end there. Unless they still have room for it. I don't want to do any more than 10 stops, because then it will get really complicated very fast. That's good. Like this chain is all set. That's not going to help. Alright, If you can do produce, do it. Alright, so we're doing great. And then what I want to do is if I can, get to Miami. Alright, we did it. Alright, let's go back. Alright, so Miami. There we are. Hopefully I can pause the game. If we want, you know what? I'll leave it as a medium for right now. We're kind of short on cash a little bit, so we'll do this. And that'll be the last station of our southern route. I mean, obviously, duh. Miami doesn't have any of this stuff, so we're back. You're not going to Miami. You are, as you'll end your journey. And I believe, once I get the rest of the stuff in here, all good. So now that we've gotten all the way from New York to Miami, first off, right. Give me just a second here to finish this up here. Okay. You know what? Just like in real life, we're going to do a Miami to New York line. Sure, there's a lot of people in New York that would love to visit the sandy beaches of Miami, even though it's the 1800s. Close enough. We'll do it. I want this train to be full, though, so we got to make it worth our while on this. Oh, yeah, I probably should do this, too. There we go. I don't really want to buy any stock at the moment because my focus is on Tallahassee. That'll be the final stop in our tour here while we got the money for it. Good, and as long as we split those, we can actually get both and kind of create kind of a big station, important station. Meanwhile, speaking of which, go. We're going to need to deal with warehouses here. Now, Tallahassee in the other meantime, that's maxed out. I don't want anything more than 10 stops. So this will be the last station for this one. This one's maxed out. This one can be maxed out too. But not this one. We're going there. Okay. This one will be kind of the Florida Express. This one's staying in the state of Florida. It'll be kind of the Florida Man Express. Hey, you cut my dividend. What the hell? I saw that. Oh, and my net worth went down. This is what a recession will do, too. Ooh. All right. Well, oh, that's right. All right. Go. I want George Pullman, and we'll leave him for the rest of the game. He is the best manager in the game, by the way. His salary's high, but man, oh man, does he give you a lot for higher car maintenance. That should help us a little bit. Speaking of helping, probably get this Tallahassee, take advantage of this stuff. Now we're actually going to need to deal with warehouses for the very first time. Up until now, we haven't needed to deal with it. Almost forgot one thing. There you go. Oh, yikes. And we are out of money. How in the world did that happen? Ugh. All right, that helps. All right, so now we have both cattle and a cotton. Is there any cattle near? Now, You can see all the textile mills over here. This is just wild. One small problem. We can't supply all of them. And ideally, I want to send the goods over. Because this bad boy can only do 2 per year. So I would like to send it one over to... How do I want to do this? I can't supply all of these all at once. I say one's going to go to Miami. So let me try to get this one. Alright, we're going to issue a bond for just for this part. And I'll freeze the game for a minute because I want to get the trains off before the game decides to just take all my money and run. Alright. So there's that. So I'm going to have one go to Miami and stop in Jacksonville. Okay, and then the second one can head towards, let's call it Tampa. We'll go to the far ones. And then it'll make a stop in Jacksonville. How about that? Wait. Well, the other one's going to Jacksonville already. Oh, uh-oh. Savannah, change the plans. And then we'll just do that. Nothing there, and we're off. If I had more, I would do it, but not like this. Now, in theory, I could build one all the way... Oh, wow. Okay. So a couple things right off the bat. Number one, we don't have a close-by meat packing plant. The nearest one's over here. I will buy that one, by the way. I'll buy this, too. It's no shame in getting some industries here. What about these ones? No, they're not doing that hot. Ugh. This one is. Alright. Buy up some industry here. Get us some more cash. Well, they have 2 over here. Oh. Well, that's not going to help. Alright, so we bought some more industries up. Nice. Alright, we're all set in that regard. So now, I guess the million-dollar question is, where on earth do we want to go? There are 2 routes we can go towards. We can either head south, try to get as many of these cotton farms as we possibly can here, and try to get to, say, New Orleans, which will... Oh, man, I think we're going to be using this later. I have a good hunch. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyways, yeah. Wow, that is a lot. Anyways. Well, I can already see the possibilities with that. But anyways, we can either make our way over there. That's probably a little expensive. Or we could come over to the Great Lakes, a.k.a. my neck of the woods in real life. And go... Is that an oil field? Wait a minute. That can't be. Okay, oil doesn't come till later in the game. Actually, we're not that far out. I think going in the north here is the best idea. So we're going to head to the Midwest. But the problem is the Appalachians are just staring at us right in the way. There is that problem, to say the least. Alright. Oh, that helps a lot. Thank you. I'll repay that off. Rather than spend on a buyback, I'm going to try to use the Cumberland Gap to kind of help us out. Because I think the first stop should be... So we can either hit up Cumberland. There's 2 options. We can either go north towards Syracuse and then loop around. I'm probably going to do like a loop kind of deal. Although... There's no easy path to get to Toronto if we want to go there, although... getting to Toronto is going to be a little bit difficult, to say the least. Syracuse or Pittsburgh? Hey, wait a minute. There's supposed to be something in here. What the hell? Hey, I feel disrespected now. Bruh. You know what? Just because of that. So, I mean, we got to go to Cumberland either way. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. I say Pittsburgh only because there's this logging camp sitting here. So, all right. We'll go to the Pittsburgh first, and we're going to have to build it off of Washington, D.C. So let me start by doing that first. We'll get our little triangle interchange. The issue, of course, I have is trying to do this without as many gaps as possible. We're trying to minimize the amount of red we do here. Otherwise, this won't work. We're still going to have red. Okay, that's the best I can do under such short notice. Fine. And then if we get from Cumberland all the way over to Pittsburgh, we're good. Oh, alright. I'm going to build a station in Cumberland, even though there's nothing we can do with it. It's mainly just as a resupply station. The reality is we can't really build anything there because... Oh, good! Economy's back. Yay! Alright. And then we just got a straight track all the way to Pittsburgh. And then, of course, we can hit up Cleveland, too. Good. Alright. Build a ginormous station so we can get the logging equipment, but we're going to need the roundhouse. Believe me when I say that, we will need it. Now, this is a little bit odd. Do we have any trains that are just staying in a general area, or do I have to start from scratch, essentially? We kind of do. We only have one, really. Because of the grading, I'm not really crazy about the grading at all, so I'm going to build from scratch. That's my final decision here. So I will start one off. Actually, Albany's a good spot to start us off. Just because that's kind of the end of the... Well, that one's going to Montreal eventually, so no. So we'll do this. And have that go west. That works. We'll do another one from Washington. And then I'll just have one go from Pittsburgh. Although, because of the lumber, we'll do that. Pulpwood being wild. Was there a paper mill? Oh, it was in Roanoke. Ugh, that's not going to help at all. There's actually a lumber mill in Albany, by the way, what we could use. Oh. Well, then don't mind if I do. And we can just drop it off in... Philly? Yeah, Philly's probably a better spot. All right. All right, so that kind of sets us up, and now we are heading west. Excellent. And look at this. Ooh. So there we go. This is why we kind of started it early, because new buildings are going to pop up. And for the first time, we have a cannery, which, well, there's a problem. This hasn't appeared yet. Or has it? No, it has not. So without a steel mill, that cannery is absolutely useless. Later in the game... Now, inevitably, we're going to have to send coffee and produce exclusively to canneries and not anywhere else. But that won't come up till later in the game, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to leave it. So for right, it does shoot up demand for both, but for right now, without steel, it doesn't mean anything. So inevitably, a steel mill will pop up in this map. I just don't know where. So good to see we have our first cannery to game, and now I guess the focus is to go west, starting with Cleveland, and then I'm going to go around the circle, hit up Buffalo, Syracuse, and then connect to Cumberland via the little gap that's over here. So we'll do that. All right. Actually, the first thing I want to see is, are there any industries we could buy up? I think that's probably a better spot for me, just to get this going. All right, there's plenty up here that we can get. Now that way we can get more money flowing in every year. Industry profits are important. And I'm not seeing anything else much in the way of industry profits either, so... I believe shall leave it as is. Alright, so we're good there. Back to the game. So let me hit up Cleveland. Huh, there's a port on Lake Erie. That's funny. And they also have a lumber mill. A logging camp and a lumber mill. Ooh. I think Cleveland's going to be kind of important to us here. Okay. So what I'm going to do... Some of our trains are going to head this way. Like I said, I'm kind of building from scratch at this point. Ah! Speaking of building from scratch, yikes. Remember, the economy is still improving, and there goes the dividend. Hi. I was using that. Bruh. We'll just do a straight passenger line between both cities for right now, because I don't feel like doing anything further. Okay. Oh, wow. New speed record. Nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a kind of a loop here. Start over here. Okay. I want this part to go to Buffalo, if we can do it. Okay, this is actually a good, excellent position for it. And then, if we keep going, we're going to hit up Syracuse. That's probably going through my house right about now. Just kidding. Maybe. 4 point... What? Alright. Well, we'll build it north of Syracuse. We'll build it through SU. They don't mind. Kidding. Again. Hold on. This is not... Oh, that's better. Oh, I like that. We're not building a bypass through Syracuse. Get out of here. We'll build another small little station over here. Nice. And where, oh, where can we put this? Right here. Except then we have this massive 7 grade. I don't like that at all. Oh, no wonder. So the long story short is we have no choice to do that, but to do that. That is kind of unfortunate. I guess at this point we have to keep it straight. Okay. So there we go. We got that. And we got that. Okay, so that works. That's the best I'm going to be able to do here. So we need that. Buffalo needs this too. Okay. And going back to our trains. This one can head in that direction. Let's see. This one can head in this direction. This one's going to come back. And I'm not sending this one west. We'll leave it as is. Meanwhile, insert one in Syracuse. There we go. And that'll be all for that. Is Cleveland a city? Oh, thank heaven they are. Okay. So we can actually do stuff with the pulpwood. So this only makes all the sense in the world to do this. We can kind of kill two birds with one stone here. We can actually do the same thing in Cleveland as well. Although in Cleveland's case, I would like to send the logs over to Syracuse. Stop in Buffalo. Although, we can actually do something a little sneaky. Do that. Keep the pulpwood. It's not going to get unloaded. And then, there you go. So what we're doing is essentially telling the train, hey, don't unload your pulpwood just yet. Leave it. And we go from there. Oh, that hurts. That's okay. Alright, so we got that under control. I think we need another buyback stocking or whatever. I'm going to grab my dividend back. Set it for 50 cents for right now. No, we don't need to do that. I haven't really been paying attention to too much to the stock market, but I've been trying to get back to cash positive. Although, let's see if the economy goes back into prosperity first. Oh, it's there. So, you know what? I'm going to do that. So, we'll deal with that in a little bit. Let's get our dividend back. It's now at 249 and climbing. Alright, so we'll end this episode. We're in 1860. Columbus has the exact same setup as Buffalo. Well, I'll be. Alright. Looks like we're going through Ohio. Yeah, I guess we're going to be swagging like Ohio. Oh, God, did I really just say that? Anyways, nobody heard of that. Alright, some trains are going back that direction. Okay. Remember, because of the mountains, I don't feel comfortable doing kind of a new one. Alright. So from Columbus, we'll just have it go to Pittsburgh for right now. Is there anything more? Ah, yes. I wanted to. I know Cleveland's going to have a lot going for it, but we got to take advantage of it. I was just going to say, can it do both? Because if so, that does help us. Alright. Alright, so we got one going from Pittsburgh. I guess it only makes sense at this point to start wandering towards Chicago. So that's kind of going to be our next stop overall. Although, Southern Ontario is looking very tantalizing. hold on. We don't have access to Canada, but we're about to. You know what? I'll do it. I'll drop the 900K for Canada. Gotta take advantage of the situation in Canada. Yeah, we'll go through Detroit. It's a little bit easier for right now. I'm not going to go through Buffalo. But the goal is eventually make it up to Montreal and then come back and connect to our line in Albany. There's a lot we can do here from an economic standpoint. So in the meantime, we could, in theory, either go to Cincinnati or to Detroit. Let's do Cincinnati. I want some skylight chili, damn it. Oh, wait, that doesn't exist in this game. Never mind. Anyways. Alright. Cincinnati it is. Send some passenger rail service over that way, too. I think we've kind of oversaturated it a little bit, so we'll leave it. I would like to do, actually, though, is get this. I don't know. Oh. There we go. I wouldn't mind getting this. Why not? So there we go. We're at Columbus Junction now. We'll leave it, and now we can send it to Cincinnati. We'll send it to Cleveland. They seem to need it more, a little bit more than we do. Oh, and we lost another one. Oopsies. By the way, I do plan on building my Chicago line down here. Oh, hello. A steel mill near Albany. Now we're talking. Okay. It's a very odd spot for a steel mill, by the way. We do have it, so we can now send as much coal and iron as we want here. We have to take an inventory. We got iron in Berlin. We have coal in Boston. I think you can kind of put 2 and 2 together and figure out how exactly this is going to work, but... Or not. Oh. Oh. Alright, we'll figure that out next episode, but I think this is a good place to stop, especially since it's right around here the Civil War is about to start. Or something along those lines. So, yeah. I guess for next time we'll figure out how to deal with the steel mill and take a trip to good old Chicago and maybe Detroit. And maybe Toronto, too. And the rest of Canada, southern Canada. You know, the good part. Not, you know... Oh, who am I kidding? Oh, that stinks! You heard me. Don't at me. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the usual buttons, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out, y'all. I blame Canada for everything, by the way.